Hey, what's up guys? Chief Pat here, and today bringing you guys a brand new Clash Royale video. And inside of this video, I'm going to be making a push for #1 on my main account, where currently I'm at 4,449 trophies. Now, if you take a look at the #1 guy, Vega Light, he's only 27 trophies on top of me. So let's go ahead and do a pair of battles, see if we can steal #1 away. And at the very end of this video, I'm going to show you guys an absolutely insane replay where I queued up with an accidental deck, and it's safe to say it's one of the craziest battles I've ever been a part of. But first, let's go ahead and go off against Bright Light. Looks like if we're going to catch Vega Light, we're going to have to go against Bright Light to reach that #1 spot. Bright Light looks like he's rocking a princess composition. When I think of decks that use the princess, I think of things maybe he has Minion Horde and Goblin Barrel because he's trying to bait out my arrows inside of this deck. I don't know if a lot of the super meta decks use princesses anymore. Maybe he's rocking the miner. I know a couple of miner decks use the princess, but there goes a lightning spell. I haven't seen a lightning spell in probably a month and a half, so that was really surprising. I actually ended up dropping a wow. Take a look at my Royal Giant though as it tears its way through that cannon. It should be able to get a couple of shots off against that tower, and really, even though he did get some good damage against me on the left-hand side of the lightning spell, should be able to take out these spear goblins, and we're pretty even so far. But at this point, I do have my elixir collector down, which means I can snowball against his deck. But since he has that lightning spell, I can't place my buildings on top of each other. I can't stack my elixir collector and goblin hut next to each other behind a tower, because obviously he's going to lightning me down like half a second. And commonly, a lot of people will play Hog Rider with the lightning spell, so if I drop a defense, he can just lightning it down. And here comes a Hog Rider down the lane. I'm going to play my barbarians to counter it, and he actually is going to end up lightning spelling my barbarians, which is safe to say a pretty interesting choice. He might have been targeting my goblin hut, but since the barbarians are so tanky, it might have shot those down instead with the lightning bolts. But still, even though he's getting good damage off against my tower, we're starting to get a crazy elixir advantage with our second elixir pump, and I don't think he's going to be able to lightning all three of those at once. Even if he does end up hitting my elixir pump on the very bottom right, it's only at like 1 HP, so it really wouldn't do too much. Fireball on the princess. And even though we haven't made a big push just yet, we're definitely even as far as the damage to our tower goes. And here goes our big push with our barbarians. Now he drops his minion horde immediately, and we're going to play some spear goblins right after that. Looks like our Royal Giant has locked onto the tower though, which means it's going to be tough with him to deal with it. And since we have so much elixir to deal with his counters, we're actually going to get the tower all the way down to 179 HP, which means a fireball will win the game. But we do have to be careful with how he plays his lightning spell. If he does a Hog Rider lightning push and we drop our cannon immediately, he's going to be able to take it out. So cannon's going to go down right now, but notice right as we do that, he's going to drop a perfect lightning spell and actually end up taking us down right there. So he's taken the first tower of the game with that really awesome play. However, we can fireball his top left-hand tower. The game looked like it was in the bag, but actually this is going to be pretty difficult as we go into extra time. Now we do have that elixir pump and goblin hut on the bottom left. We're going to play a cannon as well as the spear goblins to stop the Hog Rider. He does need to respond to my Royal Giant, so he can't lightning my cannon as well as my tower. Arrows are going to hit both the princess as well as the spear goblins, so even though we took our lumps early, I definitely think we're doing a solid job so far, and I'm really debating where to drop my stuff. I dropped my Hog Riders in the very back. I end up switching between cards and dropping my goblin hut. Really just a super messy play for me, but he spends 10 elixir on that push, which means our Royal Giant's going to go down in the very center. We've got our arrows to take out the princess. Royal Giant isn't even going to retarget that cannon right there, so that's going to end up being the game, and definitely a pretty interesting battle. He made a really nice push towards the end on the left-hand side, and definitely my mistake by dropping that poor cannon and not dropping it towards the very top so he wouldn't lightning it. But we ended up stealing 23 trophies for that battle, and when you take a look at the leaderboard, we're only 4 trophies away from #1. So hopefully we can end up stealing #1 with this next battle. Of course, even when you're fully maxed out, you gotta collect your crown chest, guys. So let's go ahead and get that right there. And after another enormously long queue, we're gonna find Mr. Wang Z, who is one of the famous win traders at the top. So it would be very sweet to knock him down and end up taking the #1 spot. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the Goblin Hut. This really is a poor starting hand for us. I don't like not having the Elixir Collector, and if I don't have the Elixir Collector, generally I want the Goblin Hut and the cannon together. But it looks like we're going to drop our spear goblins, get a little bit of poke on that left-hand side. At this point, he definitely has a major elixir advantage, so we're trying to play it as smoothly as we can. We end up having to drop our cannon to make sure our goblin hut isn't taken out. And yeah, he's stacking elixir right now. I tried to drop my fireball to hit all 3 of those, which I ended up doing. That was actually a really nice fireball by me. Definitely giving myself a virtual pat on the back right now. But yeah, we hit the elixir collector, the musketeer, as well as the tower. Ended up making that musketeer useless after the spear goblin took her out. And this turned from a pretty poor early game to being a big lead in our favor. So let's go ahead and make a push with the Royal GG. We've got the barbarians, we've got the spear goblin, and if he does have a free spell in his deck, which a lot of people do with the deck that he's running, he should be able to take the royal giant out. Now he doesn't opt for the free spell and actually goes for the musketeer. I definitely think he had the free spell in his hand because I know the exact deck that he's running because it's the one I play on my second account. So pretty questionable play, I guess, because we took so much damage on that left-hand tower, but we've already whittled him down to 1853 HP, as well as we have a full health goblin hut in the very center of our base. Alright, so he's going to play the elixir collector. Obviously, we'll play our own and start making sure our advantage gets bigger. And now that we have a couple of cards left in our hands, I actually don't have a great one to play unless he plays his musketeer. So I'm just waiting to see what he plays on offense. Now, skeletons usually mean a hog rider's coming after it. There's the hog rider right there, so let's go ahead and play the cannon in the very center. Notice what I'm going to do with my barbarians. I'm going to drop them right on top of the hog rider, and since the hog rider did not shove the Valkyrie down the lane, we ended up getting a pretty significant win right there. Another goblin barrel in the very back. We can fireball down both that elixir collector and the musketeer, and it's safe to say that win traders never learn. If he remembered that last fireball that I played that I got so much value on, he would have adjusted his game plan, but unfortunately that didn't really run through his brain. Let's go ahead and drop a cannon in the very center to stop that hog rider. He actually ended up shoving the Valkyrie down the lane, and he might have a free spell, which there it goes right there, but again, not actually going to do too much damage right now. Our spear goblins will take out the hog rider. We've got another goblin hut on the left hand side, and he definitely has to be bone dry in elixir. I've got 2 elixir pumps, 2 goblin huts. He's only got that musketeer right there. I'm going to sacrifice that damage. I don't care about it. Let's fireball the cannon as well as the tower right here, and I'm going to drop a good game right now with 15 seconds left in the battle. A fireball will win the game, so let's just go ahead and cycle back to that card. So pretty simple match. Safe to say he made a lot of mistakes in this battle that I was able to capitalize on. Let's go ahead and drop our cannon to stop that hog rider, drop our barbarians down the lane because this one's pretty much over, and fireball up front and center to take down that tower. 1 HP left. What the heck? Okay, game's over. Arrows down. GG, well played. That means we're going to get the #1 spot yet again inside of Clash Royale. So 19 trophies. I hope that was more than the 2 that we needed. Yeah, of course it is. 4,491, giving us that #1 spot inside of the game. And definitely a sweet way to do it by taking out one of the win traders. All right, so good stuff right there. We're in the #1 spot, at least for the time being. But guys, I had a crazy replay I need to show you guys that happened right after I hit #1. So I created a decoy deck and a deck that I use so people can't check out what deck I'm playing when they go to the leaderboard. And it actually ended up being a pretty insane deck. Of course, if you guys want to check out my battle log, I've won, like, I don't know, 13 straight wins in a row. I'm not even counting right now before I had a loss right there. So yeah, things have been going really well, but this deck that I played, it has a miner inside of it, and then every other card is 2 elixir or less, and it turned out to be a pretty crazy time. So checking out the deck, my starting hand is goblins, miner, minions, skeletons, and zap. What the heck am I supposed to do with this deck? I just have to do my best. I've got a goblin hut in there. I've got a couple of other weird cards. I actually thought this was like a 2.1 elixir deck, but I guess I threw in minions in the goblin hut to switch things up just a bit. But I also have the mirror inside of it. It's safe to say that this deck is pretty much stupid. So I queued up with this deck and I was #1, and I was like, great, I have this stupid deck. There's no way I can win when I'm rocking mirrored goblin huts and miner and minions, but you can't go down without a battle, so let's go ahead and start this off against Chris and drop some miners on his right-hand tower. Now, I am going to drop it on the elixir collector. The cannon is out of range, so we're going to get some good damage right there on the pump. Pump's going to go down, and his skeletons are a pretty solid counter, and end up taking my miner out. But we've got 2 goblin huts down right now, so I'm not just going to swipe up and quit this match when I have such a ridiculous and dumb deck, but I'm just going to keep going. He's going to play his elixir pumps, so I'm going to drop a skeletons in the back. We're going to do another goblin hut on the bottom left, and taking a look at what I could play, I could actually mirror my goblin hut if I wanted to for 4 goblin huts on one side of the map. So that's actually what we can end up doing in the bottom right. So we've got 3 goblin huts. He did just fireball down one of them, so spear goblins are going crazy on the right-hand side of the map. He is rocking the same exact deck that the guy that I just played a second ago is rocking, so it's safe to say this is definitely one of the strongest decks in the game that I'm facing. And here comes a Hog Rider down the lane, which is going to be extremely annoying to deal with. Okay, so Hog Rider reaches the tower. Cannon is going to be a great counter. He plays a free spell, which of course isn't going to work out too well. And now that we've got a miner attacking that tower, we're going to start doing some serious damage. And why not mirror that miner? So we've got another miner on the back of the tower. At this point, I realize that mirrored miner is absolutely OP. I've been telling you guys through the last couple of videos, the 6% HP buff that they're giving to the miner is one of the most ridiculous changes that I've seen. The miner is already so strong inside of the game, and some people just have to open their eyes and see it. And I'm going to show you guys why that is inside of this battle. So we've got Goblin Heads down. We've got our Spear Goblins down. He's got a Valkyrie. That's not going to do too much. Our 3 Elixir minions are going to tear apart both the Valkyrie as well as that Hog Rider. And here goes a miner. Here goes our minions as well as those Spear Goblins. We're going to do some serious damage, as well as we're going to zap those skeletons. I forgot I had the zap in my deck, and I sort of was learning as I played this deck. And his baby dragon isn't going to do too much, as our troops are pretty spread out, and we've taken his tower down to 1,057 HP, and at this time he definitely has to be getting pretty nervous. We've got double miners attacking his tower. Our zap's going to end up taking out those skeletons. He's going to throw a fireball down at my miner, but the tower's already down to 20 HP. And guys, we're going to win with one of the most ridiculous decks I've ever played. This was supposed to be a troll deck, but the miner proved to be so strong that it ended up dominating this guy's towers, and we ended up taking a pretty simple victory. So I don't know what to say about this replay. I was so happy to win after queuing up with the wrong deck. I was about to throw my iPad out the window at my hotel, and I'm on like the 14th story, so you guys would have known what happened to it. But yeah, miner is crazy. Supercell, I can't believe you're given a 6% HP buff. The miner is going to be ridiculous starting tomorrow inside of the game, so I can't wait to see that happen. I'll be showing you guys a miner deck as soon as possible, and that's going to do it for this video. Until next time, I will see you guys later. Peace out.